What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin's sitting at $10,231. We have now broken down through this purple trend line that I've been looking at for so long here now, guys. This was the uptrend that we needed to stay up above. We have now lost that. We have broken to the downside, and we are actually below that $10,500 where we had a support and resistance flip. It was resistance. We want it to become support. Now we're actually down below that a little bit. So we really need to pay attention. The next levels I'm paying attention to are $10,000. Psychologically, that $10,000, then down around that $9,600, that CME futures gap, if that is going to fill. But this has been a pretty drastic dump. The last time I talked to you before I had my medical procedure yesterday, we were talking about Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. We were looking at a potential head and shoulders pattern, and that's exactly what played out. We ended up breaking down through the neckline. This is what we were looking at here, guys. We had that left shoulder, we pushed up, we had the head, and then we had the right shoulder on less volume, and then basically once we dropped through the neckline, we had that explosive drop to the downside, and it came on heavier volume. So this is an area where we really need to pay close attention, because what we need to do is find support right in the area that we're at now and get back up within this purple trend line. A lot of people underestimate how powerful trend lines are, guys. When they break, you can see right here, when we broke this teal trend line last time, it was a massive dump. When we broke this yellow downtrend last time, we had a massive pump to the upside. So these things can be very important for us, and now we really have to watch to see if we can find support between $9,600 and this area that we're at now, $10,235. What we really would have wanted to see is the buyers stepping in right here at $10,450, $10,500 would have been the area. And what you can also see in terms of trading view now is that we are in the negative here. We have a 17 sell, 7 neutral, 4 buy, oscillators 3 sell, 6 neutral, and a 2 buy. Moving average, we're actually throwing a strong sell signal there. Now this is on the 4-hour. If we bounce out to the 1-day time frame, what I wanted to point out to you here, we're right now flirting and trying to find support in white. This moving average, this is our 100 moving average. If we can't find this, then I'm going to look down to the apex of this symmetrical triangle. That's a common area that you will find support. It'll either be support, or if we drop below it, it'll act as very strong resistance. While I was sitting in the waiting room yesterday, I was actually reading all about that in symmetrical triangles, trying to find support. If you've had this massive breakout, a back test of that before you potentially can move farther. But right now, this was some heavy selling pressure, and we saw a pretty big rejection up there around $12,000. You know, guys, this is why chart patterns and paying attention to these formations can really help you out and planning for them. But the main thing now is getting back up within this trend line right now. And you can see basically right now, we're going to have to pay attention for the close today, where the candle's going to close. But this is almost a gravestone doji. That's an ugly candle right now. We really aren't finding a ton of buying pressure yet. You can see we pushed up to around 10,536, but we had rejection. So where this candle closes today, in terms of yesterday's candle, how much penetration we get up into it, that's going to be the big deal for us. You can see we dropped down. The lowest level, we hit that 9,992. So we have tapped $10,000 here, guys. And this is where we want the buying pressure to come in. We need to find some support here. So this isn't a top, and basically overall it would still be a lower high than what we put in before at $14,000. So if we step out here and we take a look, this is what we don't want to have happen for us. So we had our 20,000, we had our 14,000, then we ended up having our $10,500. And why I was looking promising is because we broke up through that, but now you can see we're sitting back at that level, right? But overall, this 12,500 that we got up to, we have not broken over $14,000, and that's what needs to happen next. So this is an area, as we look at some of these indicators here on the 1-day time frame, you can see the MACD we'll take a look at first. MACD has had a downward cross. Downward cross happened right up here at that $12,500. Still just waiting to try to turn that positive. We're not there yet. If we take a look at our relative strength index, we really have sold off hard for being in an uptrend like we were there, guys. You know, typically in these uptrends, when you watch this, the farthest we'll go is basically back to that 100, and that's exactly where we're sitting right now. So that's why if we don't get a bounce off this with a trend line break, this could make me a little nervous that we could even have a farther dump down to some lower levels that we'd have to be looking at here. But the deep retracement that we had, we're back on to that 100, and typically when they'd retrace to that 100, the RSI would get roughly to about that 25 to 30. And right now we're sitting at 33. So that's why it's a critical area for us to see a bounce today and actually start penetrating into that candle from yesterday. If we don't, then it's going to be looking a little bit more rough for us. But the RSI is down around 33. And typically when we're in uptrends, we don't go much below that 25, 30, right in that range. So we're really going to need to pay attention to this, guys. But if you get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, really watch these areas. Very critical that we get back up within this purple trend line, because this is officially a trend line break on heavy volume, guys. We need to pay attention to that. So God bless each and every one of you. Take care, my friends.